Hello everyone, this is David Leibowitz with Philosophy Video Game Philosophy, and I felt like doing Wiping All Out next, but we're going to do Mass Destruction because I realized that Mass Destruction is very depressing, because I am an expert on Carl Jung, the psychologist behind ideas behind this series, and I'm also very interested in the Japanese context behind Persona 3 and all Persona in general. And this song especially very much deals with the Japanese context. Lotus Juice is a genius. So without further ado, Persona 3 Mass Destruction. So this is obviously just a term you just use baby like in rapping. But this also might relate to the inner child in the sense that this relates to the part of the self that is lost, the past in oneself. And Japan, basically what happened with Japan was that they gave up their religion at the end of World War II because we beat them, because they originally held on to Buddhism, then they held on to Shinto, but over time science continued to happen, and Persona, so spoilers, the main reason why all this is happening is because of a science experiment. So basically the idea is that the inner child, the childhood of Japan is gone and we're trying to take it back. But the ways of life have constantly changed, so now there's currently a meaning crisis in Japan. So in this collectivist culture, we've now turned our life into a battleground. This is important. Obviously, yes, it's correct that it is a man's world. But the thing is that, as we're going to see for a second, Japan is very tied with the eternal feminine. And to say that only the masculine symbols dominate, which is like the Christian symbols, even though in Christianity in Japan, they do take the symbol of Mother Mary over the Holy Spirit, which means that if the masculine is completely dominant, then that is bad news for Japan, because they've lost sight of the feminine, which is what connects you to the unconscious, which is what in this game allows you to summon personas, is from the collective unconscious, of course. Fear. This fear of life. Fear of life, baby. We have constant fear. What is the next day going to bring? How is that happening? Face reality. What is reality? Reality is the idea that Japan is out of its metaphorical, mythological past. It is now in the scientific age, and reality is telling you, oh yeah, the world is cruel. Be charity, the enemy. Your blood covers all society. Enemy you're fighting. So you thought Persona 5 was about society? Persona 3 is also about society, because apathy syndrome, as we find out, which is the thing that's giving people their lack of meaning, we find out in Shadow Cry, the Strega novel, that the shadows that you're fighting in Persona 3 are basically just the shadows of people's nihilism, of their desire to kill themselves, of their desire to of their lack of meaning. So all society, you are fighting basically all of society's nihilism. And this next lyric is very important. Mommy's not here, gonna fight. Mommy's not here. Japan, so obviously the final boss of Persona 3 is Nyx, which is a mother figure. What is happening, what Hayao Kawai, the founder of Japanese Jungian thought, said, is that the issues surrounding every person in Japan is from a archetypal relationship with the mother. Because Amaterasu, the mother, is very important. She is the sun goddess. The mother figure is far more central to the Japanese psyche, even if they are very still patriarchal. The mother figure is highly important in how it affects everyone. Kanon, the Bodhisattva, Guanyin, Avalokiteshvara. There's many female figures that are powerful in the Japanese psyche, archetypally. The death of the relationship with the mother with a more masculine focus because of Western values kills that, and what leads to the meaning crisis.
Shadow 10 o'clock direction.
Shadow. Yep. Now you have to deal with shadow. Seize the moment.
The moment is destroyed.
Seize the moment. So this is, you're telling to seize the moment, but they destroy the nation because the shadows are literally like putting the world in ruin because people are having their meaning crisis. This is literally, as Jung talks about in relation to the animal, in World War I, he talks about international suicide. That when they destroy the nation, that is literally people with a lack of connection to themselves, killing themselves over and fighting because of the lack of integration of the self. You rhymes. This is going to be very important for the reincarnation lyric. There's a lyric that follows up on this. So slow motion. This is Keibo Oiwa. Basically talks about this as that early on in Japanese life, it was slower. It was nice. People were together. Now there's a later lyric about fast life, which is the capitalist, which is the currently the new way, the fast way, the technological way. And that's what leading also to the meaning crisis. That's apathy syndrome.
Spit out all over, rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd, watch out the moon, they diss you out, diss you out.
Because this is the lack of integration, they diss you out. This is the people that are not allowing themselves. This literally also you talking to your shadows, and you're not being able to integrate the parts of yourself that you find are hostile. But when we allow ourselves to empty ourselves up, we can then lead ourselves into integration. And this is also the dissing and the lack of harmony in Japanese life, which is very integral to, again, lack of meaning and possibly the suicide epidemic. This is more funny.
But the truth, there ain't no truth.
There ain't no... Nietzsche, hey, Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, Dostoevsky, are you calling? Are we at Persona 4 already? There ain't no truth. Yeah, that's a thing to... Oh, Camus. Yeah, Camus. Oh, Camus is perfect. There ain't no truth. That's the nihilist. That's life is absurd right here.
You're the only one world, one love.
That is actually... This is a more positive lyric. Because this is you basically integrating yourself into one person. That when you're one world, when we're all together in this shiawase, this sense of harmony, that's what we want.
The battle goes on, shadows on.
But the battle goes on, but we still have to fight ourselves because we're not fully in this integrated harmony.
Mass destruction.
Oh yeah, baby,
When I'm in the box, this is like you're stuck in your head. That's what it's saying. You loving me. That's saying, oh, but I need your love. I need to be integrated. I need to be connected to people. This is the social link system. The necessary at the end of the game when he gains all this, when the protagonist gets all their power from the social links. That is the collectivist meaning of society.
Keeping my friends close and my foes closer. Things getting messy, but I never let them know. As I get older, see things slower. My enemies.
You see things slow. You see things more clear with age, because Japan honors their elders.
He's looking like his, and I'm the grown up.
Ooh. This is what I'm still not certain about, but the idea is that that you sort of pick on the weak. Oh, did I think about Persona 5 again about adults? There's that too, about adults having more power and like, oh, I treat myself in a more this is still the inflatedness of the self.
I'm the next masterpiece made. A new
This is, oh wait,
generation came up with the beast taste.
oh, a new this is maybe calling on the age of Aquarius, the new age, when people will find meaning in themselves.
But I'm the Mr. Nice Guy. See, I'm a wise guy. Not a mafioso, but a hustle like mine. Lay low if you're feeling me. I'll take these beats, big go crazy with me. So put him up in this place with me. And shake with a man. L to the J's, now follow me. Ho!
Alright. Well, that's basically that for this half. We'll be back for Reincarnation. We are back. So we're also doing the Reincarnation version, which is not in the game. There's just a separate, for Persona 3 and 4, there are Reincarnation versions. Just extra remixes that were before the dancing versions. Because Persona 5 got its remixes in the dancing game. But either way, there's some powerful remixes in the second half of this, powerful lyrics. And I will say quickly, the next masterpiece made, that is to sort of see yourself in, to be made as a masterpiece, is sort of the individuation of self, the integration of self. Alright, let's go forward.
Enough of fake smiles, fuck what?
Fake smiles, that's the persona of the self that because the fake smile in Japan, everyone's basically doing things in a way that is to conform to society. So I don't care, enough of fake smiles. I'm done with people just putting up their pretenses. And instead I'm going to go buck wild. I'm going to embrace the instinctuality, the darkness of the self, and be myself, which is a lot more Persona 4, Persona 5. Still in Persona 3, it doesn't matter. Better shoes to walk. So this is basically saying I found a better way to live my life.
A better pair of shoes to walk, even if defeat, home of pride, never gonna talk.
But now we're getting a little iffy, because now this is the lack of communication. Now people are not talking, because they're tied, because they don't know what to say to each other.
My mouth is tight like James Bond. You thought you saw me, but next second I'm gone. I don't want a throne, I'm a freelancer.
This is good. I don't want to. This is not wanting any power or anything like Tanaka. He's a businessman. He wants power. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be the devil. Do for Benjamins. It's slightly Benjamins, like the rich people, Jews. As I'm a Jew, I guess that's sometimes used as a Jew term. But I'm not a gangster. I want to be rich. I want to be rich, sort of spiritually myself.
Do for Benjamins, but I'm not a gangster. Show me if you got it on, 'cause I fight not only verbally, all the time, and I ain't got a game that I play.
But now it's sort of going back into people fighting and being destructive. This is actually interesting. This is Nietzschean and Winnicottian. When we look at the world, we see that when we destroy something, we make it into ourselves. So actually, mass destruction, in a way, is about destroying the world and being able to feel comfortable in it. It is about allowing oneself to make one's own world in itself. It's very interesting. But there's also the destroy of laying waste, and that's not good. But I think it's actually the positive thing about destroying, which is actually about basically allowing yourself to destroy the subjective idea and turn it into an objective and feel comfortable with it.
I'm sick to the bone, to the top of the dome, to the temple.
But now then was like, no, I'm not. This is Japan itself. Japan is sick because they lost me, because they lost touch with their culture.
I call the shot, the front man calls the drop. Going nowhere if you wanna take my spot. Break down. Right off the bat, I pop my armor, be too smooth to see. I sting like beat, like Muhammad Ali.
Fighting terms.
Champion of champions will not defeat. Came up to
This is just your fighting term still.
beat the enemy at large, but tonight let us take a break back to kids and go.
This is important. This is about, again, we talked about integrating the child, right? This is what it's saying. You need to integrate the child, integrate the past to go forward. Now we get to the most impactful verse where it gets really depressing. Woo! Did I say that I like this version better?
Once again, I'm back in the lab, cleaning my knives, ready for.
This is about, so again, the science experiments, what happened, right? That's what caused the apathy syndrome and the shadows to come. So this is the modern age. This is not being good.
Stats. I never committed a crime, I had to. Out of necessity, I don't.
This is iffy again. It's like the crime towards science. Like, oh, we do things out of because we have to scientifically.
I plead guilty to Lord.
This is highly important. I plead guilty to Lord and Chapel.
Chapel, forgiveness, give it cause I don't look.
This is sort of like Japan is currently. So is it looking? We're still wondering. Is Japan is Persona 3 using Messiah, which is Makoto and Minako's final persona, until before Orpheus Telos, which is Jesus, to integrate Christianity or something else. This is sort of saying like, oh, I go to religion, I go to Japanese religion, I go to Christian religion, because I'm like, wait, oh, I'm sorry, Lord, I'm sorry, someone, because they're not religious, so they have to go when something bad happens, they go and try to seek faith, but it's too late. And this is why you need to have a good relationship with the collective unconscious, a good relationship with your archetypes, a good relationship spiritually, to lead yourself and find meaning.
Look for trouble, it still finds me, and what I do is fight back, never look back the past.
This is important. Never look back to that's not good, because it's Japan being in the modern age and having its meaning crisis because they've lost their past.
It hurts to think back, I pray to God cause I'm still paranoid.
This is important. Exactly. Again, I'm praying because I don't know where to do. Today, it's like, oh, this is also God instead of Buddha or Amaterasu or any other kami. It's like, oh, Christianity's, well, it's not, but like, I think it's ambivalent. I don't think it's criticizing Christianity in this one.
Now it's over, survival or the fittest time.
Exactly. This is, again, science. Like, oh, no, now, like, Japan actually very disliked the idea of evolution. They had their own whole thing. So I forget the name of the biologist, but they had a different system that was similar to evolution, but different, because they thought that social Darwinism was taking too much control. And social Darwinists at the time were emphasizing the competitive aspect of our nature. So this is saying, oh, now we have to be survival of the fittest. This is exactly what Japan is not about. It's about harmony. It's not about this, which is what leading to the death of Japanese values.
For me to take over, I was leading, but game's over. Mass destruction's now us.
I mean, this is both saying, again, mass destruction, like this destroying and being to our own, but this is more like mass destruction. Now I have to get and be social Darwinists. And this is also now, spoilers again, towards the end of the game, that they fought off all these arcana shadows, and they brought about Nyx by doing that, by being destructive, by fighting off and rejecting the shadows, which is integral to what is happening in our society. By rejecting our shadows, rejecting the past, we lead to the death of meaning.
Just want two things, it's slow-mo, fast life, fast money.
We remember the slow-mo, Ryan? This is it. This is the idea that life is so fast now. This is what's leading to an environmental crisis. This is what's leading to rampant capitalism, leading to all these problems that are the opposite of living slow, as Keibo Oiya says that we need to live in.
Life promo breakdown. Still got it going on. I am the next ruler of the python.
I don't know if that's reference to the Koenigsegg. It's just sort of like I need to be the top beast, basically.
Don't be scared of biting. I'm not a Tyson, right on. I'm the hurricane.
This is Japan has a lot of natural disasters, so it's like, no, I'm gonna be the disaster. I'm gonna be the destroyer, which is not pretty.
The notion of Atlantis dug into pieces. The war zone.
That's not good.
You best took it serious when you heard the tone.
All right, that's basically the lyrics. It just goes da 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 da, baby, 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 da 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 da. Okay. Either way, this is awesome. This has been David Lee with Philosophy of Video Game Philosophy. Expect some great Persona 3 stuff, even more special stuff soon. Again, I am gonna break down why Koromaru, a dog, can scientifically have a persona, and something else very special. All right, this has been David Lee's Philosophy of Video Game Philosophy. Peace.
Da 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 da.